It is now hoped that Greenwood will be available for Jamaica's final round of CONCACAF World Cup qualifying, which starts in September. Jamaica's Reggae Boyz are in Group B, alongside Trinidad and Tobago, Curacao and Bermuda. The Jamaicans will play away to Bermuda before hosting Trinidad and Tobago in the September window. And the Reggae Boyz are seeking to qualify for the FIFA World Cup for only the second time in their history, with Jamaica's only appearance at the FIFA showpiece being in France in 1998.
The Jamaica men's national team continues to ride on hope. Hope in the sense that there is a possible chance to qualify for the FIFA Men's World Cup next year in 2026. However, there is an obstacle in a New Caledonia. If Jamaica beats New Caledonia, then potentially Jamaica will play against DR Congo, and if Jamaica wins, then the promised land will be reached. But still hopes. Just as how Jamaica is still hoping to get a Mason Greenwood, a name that normally brings heat, brings division, brings all type of words that you can think of. Today though on Premier 7, I have a very important topic in mind. And it is, did Mason Greenwood intentionally turn down Jamaica? The possible reasons behind his no-show. Some people think I'm unhappy, but I'm not. I just appreciate silence in a world that never stops talking. This sounds like something Mason Greenwood would have said, seeing that not only in England his name is a hot topic, but also in Jamaica. We know that Mason Greenwood was rejected by England because of various reasons. Jamaica saw the need for Mason Greenwood, and of course, we went out there. The JFF in particular went out there, get all of his documents, passports achieved. Greenwood come and play for Jamaica. No. Greenwood come and play for Jamaica. No. Disappointment. But today on Premier 7, I want to talk about a very important topic that I think needs to be discussed. Did Mason Greenwood intentionally turn down Jamaica? The possible reasons behind his no-show. Sometimes the noise will block the truth. And today on the channel, I just want to speak about what I have read, and it brought about an idea in mind that this could be the reason why Mason Greenwood did not turn up. But people, before I dive into that importance, if you are new to the channel, you're seeing on screen, I have 2,655 subscribers. My goal is to reach 3K. Can I hit that mark? Well, I am hoping. For those persons who are already a subscriber, thank you. Continue to support the channel, share the content so that it can become more known to the world. Now back to base with the importance of the topic that you're seeing on screen. As always, Premier 7 normally considers the fans and your views. So I did a poll surrounding a very tricky question that states, which player disappointed the Jamaican fan base the most? 368 votes. I am happy to see so much. 3% Max Aarons, 4% Morgan Gibbs White, 68% Mason Greenwood, 26% Morgan Gibbs White. Big up to all of the commenters, but there is this specific person in a Joe Kevan 7171, correct me if I pronounce your name incorrectly, but he said Greenwood made a huge mistake in not declaring for Jamaica. He will never play for England, a country that despises him. he would have been loved and appreciated in Jamaica. That is fact. That is fact. From a footballing perspective, Mason Greenwood would have been cherished by the Jamaican fan base, seeing that the group that we would have been in for the World Cup automatically qualification spot, we had Trinidad, Bermuda, and Curacao. It is very difficult as a Jamaican fan to even call the name Curacao, even though some persons would say, Premier 7 Lego that I make it go on, man. Curacao deserved it. Yes, they did. But if we had a Mason Greenwood, it would have been a brilliant achievement because I think then that Jamaica would have automatically qualified for the World Cup. In that case, Jamaica needed Greenwood. The fact is that Mason Greenwood is still on fire at Olympique Marseille. And we can understand that this guy has really and truly stepped up to the plate, bounced back from adversities. Yes, we understand what happened between him and his partner, but the scandal, the legal actions behind it, everything that you can think of could have ripped apart this player. But his mentality was different, and he blossomed into the Mason Greenwood gem that many persons envision him to be before such action or act of, choose the word, between him and his partner. But we don't have Mason Greenwood. He's still there somewhere along the lines. Because, I mean, President Michael Ricketts, you know, he talked about the fact that, you know, it could be a case of Coach Steve McClaren that prevented Greenwood. But I'm going to touch upon that part. But on a whole, we understand then that the Jamaica Football Federation, they did what they have to do to get all of the legal documentations available to process so that Jamaica could get Greenwood, and we did get him to have his passport, but still a no-show. Speaking about Michael Ricketts just a few seconds a while ago, the possible reason behind Mason Greenwood's no-show. But let's see what the news reports. So Ricketts, Greenwood's absence may be linked to McLaren's presence as Reggae Boyz coach, written by the popular Wayne Walker. This was published on the 19th. I saw the article yesterday and it gave me that thought to say, why not come on board to do a video on this? Because sometimes the noise prevents us from knowing what the truth is. And Jamaica Football Federation President Ricketts has suggested that former national coach Steve McClaren could be the reason why England-born former football star at Manchester United has refused to play for Jamaica. That sounds short. That doesn't sound detailed. That sounds assumed. Should I agree? I will not. Just like that. Following upon that, we saw that here, Greenwood, who plays his club football for Olympique Marseille in France, was granted a Jamaican passport this year, but has rejected calls to play for the team. Evidentially, it proves that he receives his passport, but assumably, President Ricketts is saying then that it could be McLaren's fault. Is Mason Greenwood bigger than Jamaica football team? In that sense, based on value, based on standards, it seems so. But a team is more than just one player. But no one knows if there was some form of disagreement between himself and McClaren. I see McClaren as somebody who would have apologized if he had done something bad to Greenwood. But maybe Greenwood is questioning his tactics. Maybe Greenwood is saying then that if I should play for Jamaica, McClaren doesn't know how to coach. But would he make himself available then to play for Rudolf Speid? It was confirmed then that Miguel Coley has agreed to work alongside a Rudolf Speid, but it is not going to be as easy as the thought may be to say then he will play for Rudolf Speid. The fact is that I have seen and heard that scouts of Rudolf Speid's camp went to watch Amari Hutchinson and what was being seen by the scouts was impressive, and they provide a report. But it is more than just that. It could be a case of Mason Greenwood still having his ambition to play for England. I think the news was on Sky Sport saying that there was a question asked to Thomas Tuchel if he would basically get back a Mason Greenwood. Not word for word, but something along the line. And he said, not word for word, but he said something similar to this. I would need more details of the player, not to say based on his football performances, obviously, but based on the rules to see then if it will be a possibility. Greenwood, to me, I think he wants another sting to prove to the England fans that, hey, I am here. And if you are a social media fan on Instagram, Samir Nasri, former Arsenal and City player, stated that if Greenwood wives or partner forgives him, then who are we to judge Greenwood? So is that going to open up the doors for Mason Greenwood to get a chance back in England's camp? Not sure. But he did not got a lot of chances to play for England, in 2022. The allegations was lately dropped down the line, but within that time frame, that was when Greenwood was not at the highest level, but he was a burning player for Manchester United. But what happened between him and his girlfriend, everything just flip. England says no more Greenwood. Jamaica rushed in, a long process. From the time his name hit Jamaica, we as content creators and as fans, Greenwood, 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 but no Greenwood. This is an hesitation. Jamaica still hitting the barrier to qualify, and Greenwood coming to Jamaica is still hitting the barrier. Should Mason Greenwood come to Jamaica, will he be the man to bring us over the line? People, what do you think? Drop your comments. But the thing is, did he intentionally turn Jamaica down? The fact is that he received his passport, the necessary resources was put in place for him to obtain such. The JFF believed that he would have been fully committed. His absence complicated tactical plans because, obviously he would have been playing up front or on the right hand side under Steve McClaren, but he did not come. And Jamaica needed his firepower, but he never showed up. But he did not come out and say, I will not play for Jamaica. Because every player then have a right to choose. Maybe Greenwood in his mind still have that hope to play for England. And that is just his dream. But not all dreams will be possible. So whether it is intentionally a case that he turned us down, Jamaica is a case of consideration. So it's a matter of perspective, people. But it is not a confirmed fact that Greenwood will not play for Jamaica. Am I having the high hopes? I wish not to do so, but I have to report what I think and the news that was being published. So, with Rudolf Speid as interim manager, is Greenwood a possibility? This is something that could be interesting. McClaren's presence could have been what hinders Mason Greenwood to play for Jamaica, based on what President Ricketts stated. Under Rudolf Speid, fresh leadership. I mean, he has silenced the crowd so far because Coley agreed to play the role as assistant coach. He will talk to the players. It's a fresh leadership for Jamaica in that case. Strong communication should happen right now. Give Mason Greenwood that belief then that this could be why he could play for Jamaica. Rebuild his trust in the program, offer him a clean slate definitely. And the fact that it is not a guarantee that he will accept, but it is a realistic view now, people? Maybe. But we need Greenwood nonetheless. So, people, I mean, I am still thinking in my dream that Jamaica can qualify. I have the doubts, but I have the belief if we get Greenwood and other players. Lloyd Kelly, Godfrey, some local players will be incorporated because I believe that Rudolf Speid will bring in some players that he think is best. I think if Jamaica does get the things right, communication, put away their feelings, we never can tell. But the disappointment that we're still feeling here, not having a Greenwood, not qualifying automatically, having Steve McClaren in place, and we failed. People, let me know your thoughts based on what I've said. Did Mason Greenwood then intentionally turn down Jamaica? The possible reasons was being stated, and it was a no-show. Did not come, but he had his Jamaican passport. People, let me know your thoughts in the comment section because when you do, Premier 7 will reply. So take care and goodbye for now.